Oh, hi. It's me again, Kathleen with I Love Be Well. It's time for your next wellness check in. Today, we're going to talk about neuroplasticity because I'm thinking that a lot of us are probably struggling with negative thinking. But the good news is there's scientific evidence that we can rewire and retrain our brains, and that's called neuroplasticity. Okay, so prior to 20 years ago, we thought the brain was hardwired and fixed. But we now know that from birth to the end of life, our mind is constantly changing and our thoughts are more powerful than we ever imagined. Okay, our thoughts become how we live our life. So if we're struggling with negative thinking right now, we have to really be mindful of it and start to retrain our brains. Okay? So, our individual thoughts also determine the structure of our brain and the steps that we take in our life. So, it's really important to be mindful of this and look to ways that we can train our brain so they will not be negative. So, let's see, what is neuroplasticity? It's the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. So, actually, my son is autistic, and that's a neurological disability if you're not aware. And he gets ABA therapy, and it's incredibly effective. And we've basically, over the past 6 years, been rewiring his brain. And now he can do, most things that all normal kids can do, which is amazing. So I've been aware of neuroplasticity for a little bit now, and also used it to help myself get through some dark times. I rewired my brain. I stopped thinking so negatively, and I'm doing better now. So, what's next? What does negative thinking do to our brain? It's not good. Negative emotions and negative thinking can actually become hardwired in our brain. So, when you're doing a lot of negative self talk, maybe feeling sorry for yourself, it's actually becoming hardwired in your brain. And the more you think it, the more it becomes your reality. And it's really unhealthy for you physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. So it's really important to be aware of negative thinking so that you don't hardwire it into your brain and that doesn't become your normal thinking pattern. Okay. Your negative self talk may have uniquely wired your brain and guided your actions for months or even years. Yeah. So it does take time to rewire your brain, but luckily you can do it in just a few easy steps. How do we fix it? We retrain our brain, we retrain the way that we think. You choose the narrative, so you can change it easily. The first thing you need to do is be aware. Be aware of when you're thinking negatively. Recognize your negative thoughts. You may be your own worst critic. I know I was. So watch the way that you talk to yourself and make sure that you can create a more positive narrative for yourself and love yourself more. So, one way you can also do this is by replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. Once you hear a negative thought starting in your brain, try to stop it and replace it with something positive. So, you may be doing an exercise routine right now, and it could be hard and you don't want to do it. And you might give up because you're thinking so negatively. So, one way you can change that is to think something more positive. I'm out of breath now, but I'm going to be so much stronger tomorrow. And give yourself credit for doing the hard work. Replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Also, one of the best ways to retrain your brain is to pick up a meditation practice. I know it's very daunting and it can be very intimidating, and a lot of people are not interested in meditating because they feel like they're afraid of their own thoughts. That was me. I was very afraid of meditating, but it's not like that. It's not going to give you nightmares. You'll be fine. If you've never meditated before, there's plenty of resources online and apps on your phone that you can download to get you started. Again, if you're intimidated, I recommend starting with just a quick 5-minute meditation and then work up from there. It's really effective, I promise. And my last tip is to adopt a positive mantra. So when I was being really hard on myself and having a hard time, my mantra became, I'm doing my best. My best is good enough. So every time I was trying to be hard on myself, I would just remember my mantra, I'm doing my best. And I knew that was true. And it helped me to retrain and refocus how I was thinking. There's a lot of great things you could also look for with mantras and affirmations daily. There's so many great resources. So that leads me to my final tip. Do your own research. Do your homework. I just found all of this information from Googling. I Google, I'm on Pinterest, and also if you put things into Pinterest like neuroplasticity or negative self-talk or anything like that, you can get a lot of great resources, blogs, infographics, things that'll help you. The more aware you are, the better you'll be. And perhaps you can commit to reading one book on neuroplasticity or retraining your brain. The book that I read that really helped me is called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, and it's by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's amazing. He also has a lot of guided meditations online, and he explains neuroplasticity in a really scientific way. And it really helped me to be aware of how I was thinking and how I could better myself through positive thought instead of negative, and retraining my brain through neuroplasticity. That's all for today. If you have any questions or you want to reach out to me, please do. I'm on Instagram at I Love Be Well. My Gmail is ilovebewell@gmail.com, and I would love to hear from you. I would love to know if this video helped you. Be well.